Welcome back for game number 2 as we get ourselves back into the series to figure out, can Ground Zero qualify for playoffs with a win here tonight, or do Fury still have more tricks up their sleeve? And I guess that is the overarching question as to what will they have available to them, because in that game, let's not beat around the bush. Apart from Tomasino, they got absolutely crushed.
Yeah, from top to bot, really, Tomasino was the only saving grace. He did a fantastic job solo killing TN twice in a pretty stable matchup for the most part, but it really was the rest of the map that fell apart. It started with a jungle gank that went, completely missing in the mid lane, and that really snowballed out of control. From there, the bot lane wasn't able to play. They were losing plates, they were losing dragons, and they really had no way of coming back. They tried to force some fights, but simply, outside of Tomasino, the deficit was too great.
It was too great, and ultimately, yeah, they weren't able to really rally around anybody else in the roster to try and find some sort of inspiration, some power, some strength to contest. I mean, what were we looking at? Every single objective basically went the way of Ground Zero. They got to do as they pleased, and I felt like we sort of set an expectation from the very get-go, right? With the aggressive invade with a 2-man and a 3-man, both top and bot. It was a case of, we know where you are, we know what you want to try and do, but we're not allowing you to play your brand of League of Legends. And I feel like you've got to do, not some soul searching, it's a little bit too deep and meaningful at this point of the series, but you need to figure out a way to say, okay, we've done all our prep for the week, we know this is our matchup tonight, we know we certainly are the underdogs in this one. What can we do that throws them a curveball, throws them a bit of an upset, catches them off guard, because they need more than just that top lane win con.
Yeah, they absolutely do, and hopefully this champion select will bear that upset, and you can see already to triple AD carry ban into this first pick of failure, so taking away a lot of that AD carry depth already, and really pushing Lemus onto something that hasn't been, top tier comfort this split.
Yeah, certainly hasn't been, and I remember Varus, or rather, I remember Lemus even saying, stop allowing me to play it as Varus champion, and it's almost a case of saying, it sucks to win so much, but it's a fair point, because it ultimately has been so popular and powerful in its appearance, and that twist of fate you discussed, it does get locked in. Now, we don't want to jump to conclusions here, but could it be that ADTF in the top lane, or will we get that variation piloted by Kisei?
Yeah, it's interesting to see it not only picked, but also picked this early in the draft, right? You'd assume this is something that, Fury might not be looking at themselves. They did respect Bannett last game, so maybe that's TN jumping in and saying, I want to secure this early on in the draft. But it's going to be a brand skimmy. They're not even looking towards this AD carry pool yet. They just want to secure what they view as the most powerful picks for themselves.
Certainly seems to be the case there. Whether or not they're trying to bait in Fury to ban away more AD carries and say that's fine by us because we've got a champion pool as deep as the ocean, so it's really no concern of ours. It is worth noting also that the Bel'Veth has finally been let through. Nox is hovering it right now. This would be a massive outlier, and this would be a big testament to try and say this is how we bring it back for that 1-1.
Yeah, Nox finally gets his Bel'Veth, which is hugely powerful when it does go into his hands, right? It's able to clear very fast, able to contest these grubs because of how much early skirmishing power it has. And now you're looking at the solo lanes. That's really what's important when you're playing with this Bel'Veth. You need to have these strong members around you when you are wanting to fight these grubs and when you are wanting to fight this Herald. They're going to go towards a Nautilus, which secures them a little bit of CC around that bot side of the map. Also capable of moving up and linking up with that Bel'Veth.
Certainly is, and I'm curious to see what build they'll go for. Ultimately, I'm expecting the Kraken Slayer variation to come out, but I know once upon a time when the champion was first released, it was too squishy to go that avenue, right? We saw the Iceborne Gauntlet or more tanky items come out to play instead, so curious to see what playstyle Nox decides to opt towards, but ultimately the Cassante comes out, so they really are leaving the Gauntlet down and saying, we don't care what you ban, but our bot lane is always going to be powerful.
Yeah, so they do leave the potential 580 carry bans that could come out from Fury on the table, and opting to pick up the Cassante. Now, keep in mind, whilst this champion does often go towards the top lane, Kisei has been known to play at mid as well, so I certainly wouldn't rule that out as a possibility, depending on where they view is best for the TF to go, whether that is the AD route in the top lane, or potentially towards the mid lane as well. We'll have to see as the draft progresses, but now it comes on to Fury to really push the limits of this bot lane. You have so much freedom now, both champions already locked in, and Ground Zero just have to wait and kind of deal with what's left after the second phase of bans.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see what would become the most prevalent option once the dust does settle. With Renata being taken away as well, will they opt for another support that could offer a fair bit of power, be it a Nami to prevent like the Lucian Nami coming back into the fold of things? Obviously, Senna and any brand of Senna is still there. to take into consideration too. So a little bit of deliberation here from Furious to, okay, what should this last ban be? They're going to run down the timer here to really guarantee that they've got the best possible option, and ultimately they decide on a Braum.
Okay, so wanting to take away that extra bit of safety that they can provide into the Nautilus, right? We know that a Nautilus-Bel'Veth combo very much wants to get active early, and a way that you can stifle that is through this Braum, who's just standing, throwing the Unbreakable in your face and not allowing any damage to come through. So I like their approach of kind of targeting the supports instead of the AD carries. The AD carry pool is obviously already pinched already, and it's going to be the Alistar that's going to be the pick here. So saving the AD carry for the 5th pick, which indicates to me that Ground Zero might have something up their sleeve here.
They must do. There's something a little bit spicy here, whether or not something like a Misfortune, some other variation of a lethality user, even the Draven perhaps, that I've asked to see Limes play. He said, look, why would I play that champion? There's so many better options out there. I'm thinking something aggressive, especially when you have Alistar as your duo in the bot lane. Well, there's no surprise from Fury then. They've got a comp that wants to go forward, wants to be aggressive, and wants to really flourish off a Bel'Veth reset. So they go for the Aatrox, and it's looking like Chirp is going to return to a champion he's very comfortable with, which would be the Syndra.
Yeah, so strong solo laners have been locked in from Fury, which is exactly what you'd like to see if you are that Bel'Veth. You want these solo laners who are capable of fighting, capable of blowing up one target. The Syndra especially really fantastic, because if a Scout of the Week lands while that Bel'Veth is near, you are capable of 100 to 0ing whoever that lands on. So a really nice pairing to have up in that top side. Now, Ground Zero, you can see before they were hovering the Seraphine, but there's certainly a lot of flexibility in this AD carry pool.
Wow.
It's going to be a Jace. So, Skimmy, could this be a TF AD carry?
I'm thinking we're leaning towards that direction. We've seen Brand wants to put a time in the bot lane, but I can't imagine you want to pick that one up when you've got that available to be so strong in the jungle. And Jace in the bot lane as an AD carry, I haven't seen that one anytime soon either. So I'm expecting that to go top. And ADTF, that would be one to witness.
Wow, yeah, so basically for those at home who haven't seen much of this pick has been massively changed on this patch to really scale well with crit. All your cards now scale, your E as well as your W acting as an auto attack reset. There's a lot of stuff that's been given to this champion to make him viable in an AD carry. That being said, he's still been confined to these solo lanes. He hasn't really gotten down towards this bot lane, so it'll be interesting to see how he actually pairs against a Aphelios who is traditionally quite comfortable in a lot of matchups thanks to his range.
Well, all I'll say is looking at the stats online right now, 2 games globally across everything that we've seen in Season 14. 2 games have been played with a resounding 0% win rate. It's not too proud, to say the least. But both those games have been into a Kalista, and this time it's not. So it's going to be a bit of a different variation on that one. I can imagine we're going to be looking at like a Ghost with a Flash, probably a Fleet Footwork as well for a bit of mobility and a bit of sustain as well. But I'm probably seeing a Static Shiv, right? Get that extra bit of wave clear. Otherwise, the Aphelios is just going to have a field day with you. Yeah,
it really depends. Kraken has been something that's hugely popular, just kind of throwing out cards. You hit that gold card and then just go, ram the rest of your damage home. But I do want to know what Ground Zero, the thinking is behind this pick, right? Why they have decided to pick up the TF so early and then save it as a flex. Whether it was a case that, you know, you wanted to pick it for the draft flexibility, or you just think it's good in the AD carry pool, we'll find out in Game 2.
And we certainly will, Max. Let's load ourselves then back into the rift for game number 2 as Ground Zero, once again, the stakes are set. They're currently second. They're looking to guarantee themselves a playoffs position with 10 points already. 13 is the magic number. As for Fury, though, they finally got their hands on the Bel'Veth, and already it's putting on the pressure with a flash burnt by Venvi, and we're not even a minute into this game. It's a level 1. And just like that, they're happy with the trade they found.
Yeah, really nice flash force there from Benvi. Provides so much more safety towards this bot lane, right? You can imagine that Aphelios is something you do want to be targeting with this Alistar and TF, right? There's so much CC to come through. Yes, you have the cleanse, but when there's all of that CC piled on top of each other, it's very hard to know what to actually use that summoner spell for. So a nice little hook and just taking advantage of the Bel'Veth's strength at level 1 to force the flash out from Benvi.
Returning to your previous point as well, Lima's actually opting for those summoners, but rather than going for the Fleet Footwork, wants to go for press the attack. So it may be leaning towards your point of the Kraken Slayer into just gold card, destroy them in 3 attacks.
Yeah, it looks that way, and I just had a quick look on the wiki to compare the ranges of these two champions. Aphelios outranges TF just in his base form, and when he is in his Calibrum form, he outranges him by about 150 range. So it is quite a decent thing as we see a little bit of trading towards this bot lane. And you have to imagine that Aphelios feels pretty comfortable in the laning phase. I think where it really starts to go is in the case where a jungler is getting involved. Once a brand comes down and TF's able to use these cards to kind of provide that utility, that's when this pick can really start to flourish. But Bel'Veth is flourishing right now. 2 camps already taken away from Shernfire's bot side.
Certainly has learned from last game, right, that if they're going to get aggressive and punish me, then I'm certainly going to look to try and return the favor once I get that opportunity. And it makes it a little bit more difficult then for the likes of Linus and Benvi to be as aggressive as they were, right? Very different variation what they're playing. Flash burn from the get-go. Sure, there's Hex Flash available, and it can mean that is with bush control that the Alistar still can be an absolute menace, but Nox has got away with one, and he's got the protection of his bot lane to escort him out.
Yeah, really nice play there from Fury. I'm surprised that Ground Zero didn't have any wards on that, given Shernfire even mentioned in that pre-game interview how much he knows that Nox likes to invade, but he might have found a window here.
He certainly may have found a window looking for the stun right now. He's going to guarantee it. Fantastic flash from Hooper. Otherwise, he was for sure dead for rights. First Blood was really looking to be on the table there, but they protected it for the meantime, and now Kiste could certainly now be the next one to be stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's going to fall down for First Blood instead. Chirp's got his revenge, and the Bel'Veth Dream is starting to come online.
The Bel'Veth Dream starting to come online. After that First Blood, they're free now to help out their bot lane. Hooper, you can see there's no HP, there's no summoners as well. Shernfire has Flash, and I think they're looking for the dive. Benvi's got Hex Flash.
They're looking for it all right now, so he starts it off. You're looking for the headbutt pog to try and get it all started. There it is, and it's going to be Shernfire that picks that one up. Lemus, he's got aggro at the towers, so Findo picks up one. The tower's ramped up, so Shern's dead for a second. Chirp has made the great roam from mid to bot, and Nox at the right place at the right time picks up another kill too. Where was this Fury in game one?
Fury come out of nowhere with a massive turnaround on that bot lane play. You can see that Hooper is desperately calling for members to help him to be able to get to his turret, but let's take a look at it again, right? It starts off with Lemus tanking the turret. That is absolutely not what you want, because then he gets rooted by Findo, and that's huge because it means that all this time the turret is ramping up. You can see how much damage that single shot does to Shernfire. And keep in mind, Skimmy, while this whole play was happening, Nox and Chirp was sprinting down from mid lane after finding that kill. So it's just an easy 4 kills to start the game for Fury.
It certainly is an easy 2 kills to start it off. The best case scenario for a Bel'Veth. You want to be ahead. You want your lane to be winning. You want to rotate freely to claim everything the map has to offer. And you certainly couldn't ask for a better start. The brand has definitely been put back for the meantime. Still got that first kill for them. The only kill, in fact, for Ground Zero. So certainly is going to be lagging behind too much. But now has a whole bunch of work to try and do to make sure that their lanes aren't going to feel as doomed as it's looking like right now.
Yeah, and it's now the complete inverse of game 1, right? Chirp on this Syndra is absolutely bullying Kisse. A lot of that is thanks to all the gold he has. He has Sword Shoes on his first base compared to just a longsword from Kisse. And when you have this Bel'Veth, it is all about your solo lane priority. Who can move first to these Void Grubs? And right now, both top and mid, that's Fury.
Certainly is, and Fury just are winning flat across the board. I say bot lane, it would be the only real outlier there because you can see that Hooper, having expended both those summoners, he was a sitting target. It was very much a premeditated play, which allowed Nox and Chirp to rotate down with such certainty to guarantee it. Fantastic disengage away there by Tien, as Tomasino tries to get the finishing blow.
Yeah, a bit of deja vu from last game there. Tomasino was looking to get a solo kill, but Nox has completed the grubs. Tien notices that. And will he be able to channel the base? He won't, Skimmy. So crucially, there is a wave here. Relatively low HP bars. They're looking for a dive.
And who's there to protect him because Jace doesn't have that TP, so Kisse can't help him at the meantime. Tien, though, he's been bailed out on this occasion. Thankfully for him, the wave has come on through, and they've decided against any further aggression. You can see in the bot lane, though, that really is the all-in for Ground Zero so far. This quirky, crazy TF Alistar. An easy opportunity then for Shernfire to pop his head, even with vision, to say, well, if they dive top, we'll dive bot.
Yeah, he will be spotted now, but look at Hooper's cleanse. It's almost coming off cooldown. TP's on.
TP's coming in. It's looking like Tomasino wants to try and bail them out of the situation, but is it too little too late? It certainly doesn't seem to be the case right now because he's TP'd and instantly picked up the kill onto Benvi. Shern is flashing, but Tomasino is pursuing. He's got no flash, but he certainly has a dash. So he hits the Pillar of Flame, gets sandwiched between two, sidesteps the dredge line, and then falls down for a second. That's a valuable, valuable TP.
Yeah, we talked earlier how Fury can respond to these bot lane plays, and both times now they've done so effectively. This time it's Tomasino TPing down is the real benefactor of that play, picking up 2 kills onto this lethality Aatrox, so he'll be feeling very good about that. Let's take a look at it again, because Hooper, you can see his cleanse is just about to come off of cooldown, but here's just too much damage, too much CC that he's taken out instantly, and it's this TP here that really shifts the play as well. Yes, Churn 5 flashes, but where are you actually running to? Chirp has mid lane priority, so all he can do is die after expending that summon spell.
Yeah, it's made it so difficult, right? And it's really been a fantastic segment of sort of discussing how junglers can interact, because it has been such a polarizing difference. Findo, unfortunate on that occasion, looking to try and slip through the cracks. Look at Limes dancing on him. Try again next time, buddy.
Yeah, you got Gangnam styled after that hook here. Fury as well. I'm going to find Benby, but there's a massive wave here. Nox is here as well. They might look for a dive.
They are looking for the dive right now. The stun goes out, the knockup goes through, and Findo is definitely looking to try and take down Limbus. The pause comes out as the tower dive takes place. I don't believe it.
Yeah, well, you could see there right before that dive happens, Limus kind of stands still for a second, and his player cam looked a little bit distorted, so we will have to wait and see what actually happened there, because if that dive actually goes through, it's a huge swing for Fury. There's a massive wave that Limus will be missing here on this TF, and, you know, potentially a redive as well. So Fury looking completely different to game 1. They're on the front foot, they're pushing the pace, and this time it's going in their favor. It
really is going in their favor, and I'm so pleased to see this level of fight come out from Fury to showcase that we deserve to be in that top 6 consideration. We deserve to make it to playoffs, and we're not going to make it easy for you, Grand Zero. We've got a tough few games left to close out this regular split, and we really want to showcase what we've been working on. And I guess really we talk about all these pocket picks, they're coming out, they're showcasing their ability, and look, if we can get this every week, I mean, this is a team that can be a dark horse and cause upsets.
Oh, it absolutely can be, and I think that's a lot of that is down to Nox on this Belveth, right? He has kind of been the one to dictate the flow of the game ever since that early play and those early dives on towards that bot lane went awry. He has been really freed up to move around the map and to kind of push the game at his own pace, and you can see this whole side from Fury just looks different to how they do when they're down, when their bot lane's unable to play the game. This time they find the successful responses, and they're looking so much better.
Well, there's a reason why, Max, right, that they've had that 100% ban rate on the champion. It's been denied every single time because it's just too strong. It's just a vote of confidence from Grand Zero saying, well, we've got a chance to try out something different here. Let's give you, your strongest champion. And if we can beat it, then we really know that you're not a threat to us in the grand scheme of things. But as it stands, I mean, I don't want to call it a bit of a jinx, but it almost feels like you've hit the Gangnam style. The instant karma's come out, your net or your internet's just crashed.
Yeah, the BM was too great for his internet provider, and unfortunately, that will be the case for Limus, right? That's a very tragic death to have on this TF, who, let's be honest, hasn't really been providing too much in lane besides those pushes and gold cards, right? That's really what the benefit of this TF is his ability to push with that red card, to push with those wild cards as well, and to just be a nuisance to deal with in terms of CC, right? There's so much stacked that a cleanse, yes, it's useful, but a lot of the times we're seeing it's not even helping Hooper survive these dives. So, hopefully Limus is able to get back quickly, his net's able to recover, and we're able to get back into the action and see what this TF can provide as we get into the mid-game.
We certainly do want to see what it provides, because if it is that flexible champion, which works wonders with this new patch, providing it with a different build path to complement a different idea in mind, then I'm all for it, because more ideas, more champions, more entertainment, right, for the viewers. I'm sure they get a little bit bored seeing the same champions locked in time and time again. We've had, the Azir Corki meta, we've had the Aphelios into Jinx meta. We've had it all. So, honestly, I'm down for something a little bit wild and wacky. It's, I guess, up to Riot at the end of the day, whether or not they view it as healthy for the game. But, as you say, unfortunately, yep, Limus has DC'd. Hopefully, it's not too much longer before we can jump into this game. But he is going to return to a bit of a dire situation, right, with him being dived underneath the tower with everybody looking to flourish.
Yeah, definitely not a nice situation for him. You can see, talking about the builds there, the most common one has been the Kraken Slayer into RFC, and then you either go Rage Blade or Trinity Force, depending on what you're feeling. Wit's End as well, an item that you can pick up, but AD carry, obviously, wanting that crit modifier to kind of scale with his crit chance. Obviously, they added in the mechanic where you can now get gold on your crits, which is even more indexing into this whole roll the lucky dice side of TF. But we will have to wait and see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see how Ground Zero are able to pilot them from behind. Obviously, they have had games before this bit where they have fallen behind in the early game and then came back in some decisive fights. But so far, really, it feels like Fury are the ones in control of this game.
They certainly are, and it begs a real interesting question as to what can Fury do with a lead? Like, can they close out in a convincing fashion? Do they know what their mid-game is going to look like, or will they keep the door just slightly ajar to give a team like Ground Zero an avenue back into this one? Because it feels like Schoenfire's got his work really cut out for him, stuck in a bit of a dire situation of thinking, okay, well, I want to fall clear, but these camps don't really belong to me because our lanes have no priority. I want to try and force the gank, but I know that if I sit around here for too long, it's too premeditated, it's too expected. That, you know, we saw Nox and Chirp freely rotate down, so it's a weird spot to be in for both teams right now. Unfamiliar territory, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely is, and I can imagine Shern as well. You know, Brand is a champion who is very kind of fragile by himself in the jungle. Like you mentioned, it really has been a case of solo lane priority just going over to Fury. Their Aatrox and Syndra, both very capable of handling their opponents, and that does really create some windows where Nox can potentially look into that topside jungle. He's already picked up the grubs for himself, and looking to further extend that lead onto Schoenfire, because Schoenfire, you know, he's a fantastic player. We saw last game what he can do when he's ahead, but because he's such a good player, Skimmy, he's not really used to playing from behind, and like you said, whole unfamiliar territory can really shake up what we'd expected heading into this game.
It certainly can, and I certainly don't want to cherry pick some stats here, but I do have a fantastic one from this one here, and it says, for Fury, if they've been ahead at 15 minutes, they've had a 100% win rate. So I feel like the writing's on the wall. They've just won this entire game. There's the draw, and Ground Zero, it's back to the drawing board for you guys. You need another win to try and get yourself back into that playoffs lock-in. It's a weird spot to be in, to be quite frank, and I'm curious to see who looks to try and pick up the pieces, because we know that Kisei is phenomenal on this Jace, and there's no denying that he's going to find an avenue back into this one. But you know, the agency as a Cassante, when behind, you're really looking to try and play Protector and Peel. Obviously, you know that the Aatrox has just TP'd bot side, picked up a double, and just gone crazy with it. So everybody's bearing the burden right now, but I feel like this is that perfect demonstration on stage of the world watching. Okay, you've got all this experience, you've been on championship teams, you've won tournaments before. How do you bring this back, and how do you demonstrate that you deserve to be second in this league?
Yeah, it's a big ask, right? Because falling down to Fury here, you know, not only means that Ground Zero won't secure playoffs today, but it also means they won't be catching up to Bliss in the standings. And really, from speaking to members on this team, they do view themselves as a rival to those top teams. They view themselves on par with those organizations. And so to fall down here to Fury, who really haven't been able to find anything against those other top caliber teams, would be massive in the overall grand scheme of things when we look at standings, right? Ground Zero, we talked about the significance of securing playoffs. That means that next week, they're going to have to come in, you know, perhaps a little bit more fired up, a little bit more desperate. And when you're coming in, every game counts. You can always slip up. So trying to minimize that pressure, trying to minimize what you have to show in the weeks leading up to playoffs is incredibly important.
Certainly is. It's a consideration of mentality. It's a consideration of draft prep and what's going to work, because we will be transitioning into, 14-3, a brand new patch for the playoffs. So the meta, no doubt, will shake up again, but certainly there's going to be a bit of a stronghold on what works for you and what you want to try and utilize going forward. And this TF is definitely the biggest curveball of them all. But apologies for this major delay. Lemus has certainly had a few issues with his internet, so much so that big Mac Attack is back with us.
Yeah, mate. How are we? How you doing? What's up? How's that game going, huh? I just saw Tomasino, Max chilling. And that's that. And that's that. So who went? Lemus?
It just feels comical to me. It feels comical that he's hit the Gangnam Style. We're like, hey, nice gank, buddy. And they're like, hey, we're not letting that one go through. They gank him again. He DCs on the spot and bang. We hit a pause.
Ooh. Damn.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel too good. Doesn't leave a nice taste in the mouth. But look, that's what happens when you hit him with a little flexi sometimes. Maybe that's called karma, bitch.
Okay.
Damn, I didn't know you were
Leave
like
that
that.
one in the air. He didn't like the Gangnam Style. He was not a fan of the...
I didn't know you were like that, Mac.
Yeah, look, we got stuff to kill the time. I swear we do. I think we got chins to wag. We also might have champion that sort of thing going on at some point. Not right now. We never know. We're just trying to get word on how far away the player is, or the internet is, from the player. Of course, sometimes It's out of people's hands. And Max, I believe you said, at least in Melbourne, it was storming like crazy. We had it pass over here in Sydney, so it's gone real quick. It was crazy outside just before. So, I don't know, end of the world and stuff.
End of the world.
How are we?
It's the end of the world, but already jump into that straw, are we?
That must be what it is. He got dove. He lost 4 waves. It's over.
Okay.
It's the end of the world.
Well, you guys sucked at items the other day. Remember how long we took doing that?
I do
Yes.
remember how long. Yeah.
So that means we have some leftovers. So
We
we
do
can
more?
do some
hell
more
yeah.
of that.
Oh, hell yes.
Wait, it's time.
Let's get exposed.
Maybe for the
can I take
leftovers
this off?
of the LCO Champion Conundrum.
I'd love for them to tell
Oh,
you
we don't
right
have the
now.
intro. Oh, we don't have the intro. Had to fake
We're
it.
just
Wait,
pausing,
what?
waiting for it. It's never happening. It never arrives.
What was all of our pictures in the Champion Conundrum? I
That's
can't
right. It's the
remember.
leftovers.
Been a while.
Anyway.
Anyway, look. I need the answers. They are here.
You've got them? Okay.
Yeah, I got them. Okay, cool. Yeah, all
Lock
right, we're
in,
good.
Skim Dog. Let's
Lock in. There's 2. Let's bring up the first. Good luck, gentlemen.
Oh, no. That's
Malignant.
Don't give me Orn upgrades.
Why are they Orn items?
No one plays
because-
Orn.
Production is trolling.
Hey, Bio played on yesterday, didn't he?
Hey, if
Okay, it's
anybody
it's
knows every
Malignance.
ornament off by heart, they're a freak.
Malignance upgrade. Stop that sound. That sound's gonna make me punch my monitor. Malignance. I'm assuming it's something. Is it something on the same vein as like Malignance?
4 words.
It's 4 words.
It's what?
The first word's very hard. The next 2 words are not hard. And the 4th word is a large amount of something. Or
Nah, there's no way. 4 words. Are we real? Of pure evil? Something? Is it like that? No.
no, ob's in there. Ob's the second
Of?
word. It's something of something something.
Okay.
I'm just-
That
You're
helps.
full stumped.
I'm
Full stumped.
staring into the
helps.
abyss. I've got nothing.
We've got the of.
Wait, I'm gonna. I actually am not familiar with the first word, so let's see if we can get.
Oh,
some,
Mac doesn't even know.
If it's not even an English word, then we're just totally
yeah, see,
screwed.
it's gonna be like
It is.
like
It's
ataraxia,
English,
isn't it?
dickhead.
It's gonna be like ataraxia. It's gonna be
A state of feeling or active opposition or hostility.
oh, whip. I heard of whip.
Yep.
Domination. No.
Despair. Despair
Wow.
of...
There we go.
Despair of the night or something crazy. Hooray!
We're really
Of the-
testing out
you got the third
soundboard
word.
today.
It's something
What?
of the something.
Of the okay.
Um,
A state of anger. Can we get the first letter, perhaps?
E. It's
We
E.
play spelling bee. Can be like, can you use it in a sentence, please? Can I get the country of origin? Like the.
do you remember the movie? What is it? Something Walter. Remember the Adventures?
Yeah, that
of
one.
Walter.
Oh, the Avengers.
Adventures
Yeah.
of
Good movie, mate.
Walter. I know Walter White.
Yep.
No. It's what's that movie? It's got Zoolander in it.
Oh. Nah, no idea. I think we failed this one. I think we take the L on this
we
one.
just-
I have no idea.
We might have a lot of time to fill, so just keep thinking.
Oh, so we can just sit here infinitely.
It's can you read the definition?
Oh,
of
sorry.
The,
The
first word
Secret
again?
Life of Walter. It's got Ben Stiller in it. That's who I was thinking of. My brain. I went to say Ben Affleck, and I'm like, that's not Ben Affleck.
Yeah, it's not
Mac.
Ben Affleck. Yeah.
Do you have the definition of that first word again, Mac? Could you
I
please
do.
read that?
A state of feeling or active opposition or hostility.
Active opposition.
More
Eminence?
definitions.
Okay. My goodness, gimme, I'm stuck.
Dude,
It's
all
from
that's
Middle
going in my head is
English.
euphoria, and it's like, it's not that.
It's
The Latin word for it is inimicus,
Oh,
and then
great.
Old French was enemisty.
Inimicus. Dude, that's gonna make me.
And it kind of from that it had enemy, and they merged
Enemy.
those two words together.
Enemy
to make
of the
this
state.
word. No, it's
I
not
don't
the
know
word.
if that's a good all item name. Enemy of the state.
You know the movie The Secret Life of Walter Mitty?
No.
Emity?
Say that again.
Emity?
Almost.
What word sounds like that, man?
Evanescence. Wake me up inside.
Nah. Yep. On the way there.
No.
No. I didn't know this word. We've all learnt something today, and we'll learn it in a second. Anyway, let's focus on the last word before we bounce back to this one.
We're
'cause we're
still
stumped.
playing it out.
It's of the
When-
something.
When you eat more, Max, at the gym, what is your goal?
Bulk.
But another
Gain.
word.
Gain.
When you
put
have
on,
something gainer.
increase, Mass.
Yep.
Of the masses.
Yep.
Something of the masses.
Yep.
It's something of the masses.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
It's M-E...
Something MIDI.
Emity. It's not Emity. It's
It's almost that.
L... Is it...
I'm actually just stun locked.
The old French word was anemiste.
Anemity. Anemity of the masses.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Please, just get me out of this, please.
Yeah, next.
Enmity.
Enmity.
Enmity of the masses.
How do you pronounce
How
that
hard
word?
is that?
Enmity.
How
And
do you
guess
pronounce
what?
this word?
The next one's not even a fucking word. Good luck.
Oh, enmity. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, wait, fantastic.
Enmity.
Yeah, a state of feeling or active. So it's just like if I say, Skimmy, I'm good.
Oh,
You go.
it's like
"Alright,
animosity.
I hate that.
animosity.
Yeah, animosity.
Yeah.
Animus, friction, hostility. Oh, okay.
I learned a new word today.
We did. Enmity. I'm going to
League
try
of
and figure out
Legends
ways.
teaches you things.
Thank
A
you.
way to
Lol.
use that in a
Thank you.
sentence.
We got one more to kill time. And I guess because we have one more, that means the players aren't back. So, boom, bring her up. What is it? Good
Give
luck.
me another ornament.
Dude, it's just not real. They heard us. They heard us say all items.
Okay, so experimental hexplate. What could this be?
It's an abbreviation. I don't know what it's an abbreviation for. I'm actually gonna.
Is it okay? Can we get? Is it one word, 4 words?
It's 5 letters.
5
Oh,
letters.
it's not Pekka. No.
Heck.
It's
What is Blood waffling about with that one?
Clash of Clans, mate.
Oh, it's not even showing up on Google.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Experimental hexplate. Okay, experimental hexplate. So isn't E one of the letters, Mac?
No.
Good. That was. I didn't want it to be anyway. Okay. What could it stand for? Do we know? I feel like I've seen this in a game, and I like thought to myself, that's a really stupid abbreviation. That's a really dumb acronym. But I can't remember it for the life of me.
I'm just like
So yeah, it's built from the
helmet gold.
experimental hex plate. And what it does is you get an extra 10% attack speed, I think. I don't think that helps. But what would that do?
not
If
at
you
all.
were attacking much faster than the previous version of something,
Rapid.
that would put you... Yeah.
Oh! No.
RAPES 5. No.
I got some really easy things that will tell you exactly what it is, because it's not necessarily a hard word.
Does it spell something?
Yeah, it spells a word. It is a word, but it's like
It's been abbreviated.
5 letters. Yeah.
Swift,
Oh, here it
rapid,
is. I found the thing.
quick.
Okay, so it gives you 10
No.
extra attack damage, 10% extra attack speed on top, and then
Mac,
an
those
extra
stats are
150
doing
health.
nothing for me.
Let's see if there's some lore.
Um,
This item used to be called Nitro Hexaegis, from which the passives Hex Charge and Overdrive and the Masterwork upgrade derive their theme.
Oh, Nitro. Nitro something.
No, that is 5 letters, but it's not that.
Yeah.
Almost.
Too easy. It would be too easy.
Does it have to do with... I'm assuming that's something to do with speed, right?
Yeah. But think, we got... Oh, okay, guess what? It's like, what do you put in your car when you go... Whatever the bloody sound is.
What? Oil?
When, no,
Petrol?
you know
When it,
the
like-
item you put in your car, and then when you
Oh.
change
The
gears, it does the flutter?
Nah.
Isn't that this?
No, no.
Would it be?
When you ever play Gran Turismo, any game, car related, that makes your car, if it's not naturally aspirated, it's...
Dude, you're speaking to the wrong guys right now about this.
You're going to feel so dumb. Show us. That's it. You lost. Game's ready.
Oh, I did know that. Oh my god.
Yep, you did.
Why is it this? What is this? What is going
I
on?
knew that as well. Like
What is
You
happening?
did know that. And look,
What is
we're going to get
happening?
into turbocharge because the game's bloody ready. And before we jump in, just letting you all know, the game has been chrono braked 10 seconds in the past because of the DC. I think Lemus died and that all happened. So we're going back to a state before that all happened. Here we go. Let's get back into it. See you later, boys.
Oh, we're back, and we're still diving that tower, and Lemus is still trying to live, but he's back. He DC'd, but he's back, and he's dead once again. And, well, ultimately, if he gets the kill from the grave, he'll be happy with that. Somehow, Tien has got a solo kill top lane. He's found his revenge. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience. Enjoy the dive.
okay, so as much changes, nothing changes, right? Ultimately, the outcome still is the same there. Lemus is the one who goes down and misses the huge wave. This time, though, they do get a trade in return, right? That's the important thing. Still some gold to come through. And like you mentioned, towards the top side of the map, it's going to be a solo kill for TN. So suddenly, that top lane pro isn't as one-sided as it was before. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But all things said and done after that dive, there's only about 1,000 gold separating these two teams.
You're not too much in it. It's certainly a close affair, but you know, still, you just feel like Fury have had a whiff of that aggression. They've had a taste of what it's like to be ahead. And I tell you what, there's no reason Belveth was banned 100% of the time. Lemus is back in lane, but he might just die all the same. He's surrounded by 3. It's a 4-0 Belveth. He's got a 400 gold bounty. And look at this. My man is flashing away, hitting the Destiny, and he's TP'd out to safety. He's in the mid lane to die there instead. What is happening?
I have no idea what Lemus just did with that TP. I think maybe he thought that he could have gotten a gold card and locked in to try to kill Chirp, but it's just going to be a free kill donated to the mid laner. So a sequence of really unfortunate deaths there for the AD carry of Ground Zero.
Unreal. Really, after all that delay with our little champion Conundrum getting completely exposed, not knowing a single ornament, we come back to this absolute clown fiesta. Now, it's Ground Zero's chance to try and force the pincer as the Skeleton Week comes from the right, but the stun lands from the left, and Kisei delivers that killing blow.
Yeah, this time the collapse will work on towards that mid lane Chip. Not able to dodge the brand. He uses the Scatter of the Week on the Alistar, which is a smart decision. But Schönfire able to find something back, and quite crucially, honestly, this brand was very far behind the pace of Nox. But now this means that Ground Zero will be able to get towards these Void Grubs. They've already taken one. A 3v3 could pursue for the last one.
Yeah, how much more can they look to try and take right now? The third one is still left up in the air, trying to be decided as the TP comes in from Chirp, looking to try and answer back with a little bit of extra damage he's now got in his pocket from visiting old mate Boris. But it doesn't really matter, because ultimately Nox makes himself at home in that Baron pit and takes one away for themselves.
Yeah, and they'll secure the 5 Void Grubs as well, which is really key here, as well as giving Belveth her true form, which is nice. That will provide a little bit of extra tower taking potential to that side with the 1 Void Might that will be spawning for them. Meanwhile, you can see top lane is a little bit of trading here. Tien feeling a bit more confident now after purchasing this Sheen and Bramble Vest. Really the kind of turning point in this lane when you're able to cut that healing, when you're able to also have a fair bit of damage with those Q auto attacks coming out, as he might be looking again.
He certainly will be. Just unfortunate with the ultimate there. Felt like he was close enough to the wall to try and drag him right into the top half of that river. Tomastino very luckily has been powder. He's burnt the flash, proc the ultimate, and now he's going to defend his life underneath this tower because nobody's coming to bail him out.
Yeah, no one is coming to save him there. You can see, luckily this time Tomastino is going to have a nicer time of it. Rather, TN is going to have a nicer time of this 1v1 as they might defend Kisei, but he has flash.
Kisei's not deterred though. He's actually taking on the 1v2. He knows he can be aggressive because he's got the boys ready to back him up, beelining it straight through the mid lane. And as soon as Sherd and Benvi reveal themselves, instantly Fury back away.
Benvi doing a very nice job of always hovering around this mid lane at the right times. He's always there when his mid laner could be potentially getting aggressed upon, like right now.
Unleashing all that power is Chirp, but it's not enough to get the kill onto Kisei. He gets to limp away. And survived to fight another day as Benvi tries to zone out Fido as the Dragon was engaged. Garanzero already have one to the name and looking for that second, but unable to find it right now. Shern flashing away, depth charge on his head, a stun from Chirp, and Moonlight Vigil from a million miles away. And it's going to be a 1-4 and a massive shutdown fan from Schönfire. Really is going to bail him out of a very poor start to this game. And Nox, despite being so strong, is finally forced to go back.
Bailout absolutely is the turn there. Nox going a bit too far forward to try to get the final blow onto Schönfire, but Limis is here in the mid lane.
Yeah, Chirp's flashed away, but it's not going to deny him because he's still burning on down. He's going to turn around and Benvi gets the kill with the Ignite tick. This game, you just can't call it right now, Max, because everything's happening at once. It feels almost like a scrim game at this point because this is too much chaos. My man's been run down by an ADTF with so much attack speed. The cleanse comes out, the gold card means nothing. He's got no flash. And Nox is not even there to try and help him. He turns his attention to Schönfire. It's AD carry versus AD carry. Jungler versus jungler. And Schön has got 1 HP to his name. But Nox, no way! Oh my god, from the afterlife, this game, you just cannot call.
You cannot call this at all. One bit, this TF is everywhere on the map and seems like he's finding so much success on this pick that, you know, we just said was dying time after time. It starts off with an ult in the mid lane. How many times when you're playing mid lane yourself against the Jace in mid lane do you expect to get TF ulted? I would wager that it's very few. A nice kind of window there from Limis to find an extra kill, and then that skirmish does not go how Fury want at all. They leave Limis and Hooper alone, thinking Sefalios will be able to deal with the TF, but he is simply out damaged and then ends up picking up a double kill. A disaster for Fury, who've done such a good job at shutting down this TF.
And it doesn't look like we're done yet because it continues to swarm around this mid lane. That is the 5 ways to success as they look to try and say, okay, what have we achieved so far and what else can we look to try and take back? Because Garanzero, despite everything going against them in those first 10 minutes, they have now got the gold lead. I do not believe it. We begged the question during that little interval as to what would happen when Fury had a gold lead. Would they be able to retain it? Well, it doesn't look like right now because Hooper's been pounced upon, stun into stun, desperation coming out here as Fury answered back and said, we're just too strong. Wherever Nox is, we will fight, but he's losing. He's flashed the dragon. He'll find no reprieve, and that man, that DC, comes back and drops a nuke to pick up a triple.
The TP in from Tomasino does little but add to the death count. For the side of Fury, this TF is providing so much value. You can see the gold card chase down on towards Hooper means he can absolutely do nothing but watch as he's blown up by the barrage of CC and damage to follow. And Fury, they had the pace in their hands for so much of the game, but right now, it's really this support jungle combo who is taking over the game for the side of Garanzero. We take a look again, you can see a really nice Hex Flash from Benvi, gets him on towards Hooper, and Limis simply just does so much damage amongst this brand passive that's continually popping. Yes, it's a TP in from Tomasino, but it's matched by Tien, and that means that when all is said and done, the damage is just too great from Garanzero.
It's too great. It's an E-Max Twisted Fate with a Kraken Slayer online, untouched and unable to be taken down. Compare the bot lanes right now. It's a 1-4 Aphelios versus an 8-4 Limis. It's criminal how strong he is given the state of the game at 10 minutes into this one. But Benvi really is looking to try and continue to be aggressive. He stands amongst 4 members, gets shredded on down. He's got no ultimate, so he's so damn squishy. But Tien looks to take down Findo. Schönfire burns him down. His Limis flashing forward with a gold card, but gets eviscerated with a shutdown going the way of Nox. This fight really could go any way right now. So the Moonlight Vigil goes across. It tags up Tien. And Hooper finally answers back with a kill of his own.
Complete bloodbath there, but ultimately it goes in the favor of Fury because Limis goes down. He gets overconfident with his flash, tries to use it to take down Tomasino. But when you're flashing in against the Bel'Veth and against the Syndra, you need to be prepared to take the damage that follows, and he simply wasn't. So despite the last 10 minutes, they're overwhelmingly going in the favor of Garanzero, this fight will be going against him. As we can see, it starts with a pick onto Benvi, just trying to clear this ward, not respecting all the damage and all the members from Fury that are in the area. Now, keep your eyes on to the Twisted Fate as this fight evolves. You can see he's moving up to his members, wants to hit onto the Nautilus, and it's this flash forward here that really dooms him. The second that's out, it's a nice W from the Bel'Veth to find him, chained with the Scout of the Week, and just blows his head off. And then off the back end, the Moonlight Vigil is Benvi. Almost deja vu.
This honestly feels like a really rough game to be an analyst there, Max, because there's just no time to break things down. These teams are just go, 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 go. I tell you what, it really does, once again, feel like a scrim because they are just playing with such a reckless abandon, almost like they are the viewers at home. Like, what is this delay? Start the game, get on with the action. And that is certainly what they're doing. 30 kills in 17 minutes. And the game still is dead even.
Still dead even. The only thing really separating the two teams is the objectives that are in their control. You can see Ground Zero with 2 dragons to their name compared to the 5 Void Grubs and Herald that have been secured by Fury. So will be interesting to see where this Herald goes. The damage is there is a little bit of damage onto that mid lane turret for the side of Fury, so you could imagine that that's an avenue for them to blow that open. But look at Benvi, he's onto Chirp.
He's looking at Chirp and saying, you're a very squishy Syndra in a side lane into Kiste. It's going to be easy for us to try and take you down. It's already a 40 CS advantage for this man here. And he was down and out for first blood. And he's clawed it back in such a commanding fashion. Once again, leading to the idea that the experience really is making a difference right now. But we don't want to speak too soon, because despite their lack of experience, Fury are playing with so much confidence because they are on all their best champs.
They are, and Nox especially is kind of the shining light here for Fury. 2 items completed with the Kraken Slayer and Titanic Hydra. He's got so much on-hit damage. He will absolutely melt through basically anyone he's able to get his hands on. And also has a nice bit of survivability thanks to the health that Titanic Hydra is giving him. So keep your eye on him as we progress through these fights. With how bloody they've been, I definitely wouldn't put it past him to be able to get a couple resets in these skirmishes. And this mid lane turret looks like the next fight.
So he does the wrap around here from Fury to look to try and go straight into the mid lane. That tower, they're going to feel so hard done by the fact that it did not fall on down, but in comes the TP from Ground Zero. Looking to try and make this fight a winning one on their front. Tien jumps in, looks like down Nox and say, get away from our Twisted Fate, because Limes has been shredded down again! It's just too much damage to bear right now. As soon as he burrows on down, he does unethical amounts of damage, and Fury look to try and run away with things. They've already taken down the bot lane of Ground Zero, and now they're looking to try and pepper them all down from afar. Fantastic 2-man stun from Chirp, keeps them at arm's reach, and they get to continue to hold strong in the mid lane.
They're holding strong in the mid lane, and it's thanks to this mid-jungle duo. You can see the power that these two have. They initially get caught off by Limes, however they turn the fight quickly. Let's take a look at it again. You can see it's a split fight to start. Nox and Chirp kind of getting zoned off, especially by this TP, while the rest of Fury tries to hit the Alistar rather. And once that gold card comes through, you think Chirp's going to be one-shot, but actually it turns around onto Limes, and just a very nice flash to cancel the animation of the Cassante ultimate, meaning Nox doesn't get pulled over, Nox doesn't get separated. That enables him to get back and continue threatening in this fight.
I'm just amazed by how much damage the Belveth does once they pop their E, right? The Royal Maelstrom, you just stand still, take no damage, do so much damage, and if you're copping a fair bit, your life steal it all back in the process. It's so hard for Limes to actually try and escape that one, especially when the CC comes on through. And Fury are showing no signs of slowing on down. 9 kills on the Belveth right now. Chirp, despite some Storm Surge nerfs, is going to rush that. It's his second completed item here. That may just be the mantra of this one. Snowball, snowball, and look to continue snowballing. The ghost comes out, the gank takes place. Tomasino is the target, and he's got 3 members hot on his tail. Where does he go? Because the stun comes through, the electrocute procs, the headbutt pole lands, and the shutdown occurs. But they've got to run to Baron. Their Destiny's not available. They have no blue trinket to proc. This Baron could get stolen.
Yeah, the Baron's already down to 50% HP here as Tien will find Chirp without flash, takes the kill here, you'd have to assume. Now the question is, can they get this Baron down? It looks like they will be able to. Are they going to be able to get out?
It's too little too late. Will these Barons survive? Fury runs one way, or rather Nox runs to the right. The rest of the team go to the left. Findo sacrificing himself for the greater good. Protect Hooper. Make sure they have at least a few Baron buffs to salvage and utilize. And continue to try and play their game. I tell you what, a Baron buff with those Void Mites would just be so strong right now. But they managed to hold on to 2.
Yeah, absolutely. The crucial thing is, though, is that Belveth lives through that play, right? So she does get to keep that true form. She does get to keep the Baron buff as well. And like you said, that kind of side lane nightmare with her minions, with the Void Mites spawning from the ones that she's already collected as well. There's going to be so much to deal with in these side lanes if Nox is able to set up. So definitely going to keep an eye on him, but it's just a quick trigger pull that really enables Fury to have that happen, right? You see Tomasino get collapsed upon in the bot lane. even Chirp as well falling down onto the side lane. But it crucially provides enough time for Nox, who does so much damage to that Baron, to start free hitting. And now, this will be sole point, but look at where Nox is. He doesn't care. He wants to set up and he wants to break some towers.
Not interested, right? It's a case of you can realize that potential soul point, but that's not for another good 5 minutes. We want to unleash our true potential right here and now. We've got the damage, we've got the Baron buff, so let's force you to respond to us. And that's exactly what Grand Zero are doing right now. They've got into the top lane, they've snuck away another turret, and they keep Grand Zero guessing as to where their next play will take place. On vision is Benvi! Oh, my heart skipped for a second there, but the Spidey senses were working, and he sidesteps the hook at the last second.
Yeah, a little 1 pixel dodge there from Benvi, as he should realize now that he is standing on a ward and will clear that one away. But now it's onto Fury to kind of clear this side of the jungle. They'd put so many resources towards that top lane to enable that push to take place. Then now kind of comes this transitional phase where they're dropping their wards, they're resetting for items, and then picking back up where they left off towards this bot lane. You still have a decent amount of time left on this Baron. About a minute left on that buff. So we'll see what Nox and the rest of Fury can get done in that time.
In with the face check, gets met by a Belveth, realizes that's not the fight I want to take right now. You're so incredibly strong with a Titanic Hydra also complete, but maybe, just maybe, I'm itemized absolutely perfectly for you with the Frozen Heart, Iceborne Gauntlet, and the Thornmail soon to be coming online. Maybe that is the counter here to Nox. The TP comes on through, and Lemus, that's not where you want to be! Your destiny was sealed with an ultimate that went pear-shaped. In goes Schönfire, turns golden, and dies all the same. Hooper, despite a poor laning phase, it does not matter. His team has rallied around him, and now he's broke even with 4 kills to the 4 deaths earlier on. It's a shutdown found eventually as Tien takes down the Belveth. But it is Grand Zero lagging behind with a numbers disadvantage, and they're the ones forced to back away as Tien cops the Nautilus ultimate. He runs and tanks all the damage, but Benvi does not have that luxury as a very squishy support. Max range on the hook, they still pursue, but Chirp's out of range to hit him with some true AP damage.
Oh, what a bloodbath there in the bot lane, but it starts off with Lemus just TPing in point-blank range, getting one shot. And then, yes, you are in a pretty strong position with your other laners, but once that TF's down, that's so much of your DPS that is missing as well. You have to imagine a misplay that Lemus is regretting right now. TP's in, just tanks up a Belveth Q immediately upon arriving, plus the Moonlight Vigil to secure the deal. And then after that, Schönfire gets caught off by the side. Luckily gets off a fair bit of damage before he falls to zone Chirp out of the rest of this fight. Or else this TP from Kisei could have been a disaster.
It's so going to be a disaster. They've salvaged something from a play which looks so Fury favoured. And there's something phenomenal about what we're witnessing right now is that Fury are playing with so much confidence in their play that Grand Zero are looking a little bit exposed. They're trying to showcase what they can do. The Fury really do look like they've turned the nameplates off and are just going for gold.
Yeah, going for gold here. Tien just manages to escape, but crucially now the item spikes for the side of Fury are really starting to come to fruition. You can see the LDR almost complete from Hoopy here, as well as Chirp, who's working his way towards that Rabadon's death cap. Once these come online, the scaling is really a potent threat for these two carries. Yes, the TF will scale nicely, and yes, the Jace will always be able to throw those shock blasts. But ultimately, this Aphelios and Syndra, they're heralded as late game champions for a reason. And they are absolutely threatening once those items come online. So, as we wait for this Baron and next Dragon to spawn, these champions will keep getting ever stronger. And really being the question of who is actually going to come out on top in a late game team fight.
And at this point, I really don't know. I really don't know. This game has been so unpredictable with the amount of chaos that's taken place. This many kills. Certainly working our way towards a new record for this split. But certainly the allure of those all-important objectives is not too far away with the Baron up in about a minute now. That surely seems like the next part where they'll try and draw their line and say we fight for this right here and now. But in they go, looking for it. Tien starts it up with there being Benvi to complement him nicely. Lemus untouched, so he's able to just do so much damage. Already at double digits with 11 kills to his name. Flashing the knock-up that Nox was trying to threaten him with. And Thomasina jumps across the wall, but he doesn't get the knock-up, he doesn't get the damage, he doesn't get to pop them with this lethality build. And then Chirp realizes I've got nothing left in their tank. I've burnt the flash, I've got the ultimate, but not enough orbs to kill anybody.
It's a tragedy. Right after we sing the praises of Fury, they get caught up in trying to save their Nautilus, and they end up going down. You can see how much they commit to an already losing situation, and it ends up in a fight going in the favor of Ground Zero. They pick up those 4 kills, and as well, they break a tier 2 turret, so now the gold is dead even.
My oh my, really, take a breather, take a second to really figure out what's going on here. Because these two are the true carries of the show. Oh, Nox has been baited. Completely baited on that occasion. He thought he smelt blood in the water with a lonely TF on his own. Baited into that false defense security, and just like that, it's far too easy now for Ground Zero to pick up the Ocean Soul, the soul of all souls in our eyes. And now that Baron becomes even more interesting.
Yeah, it's not even that, right? The dead jungler means you can definitely turn towards this Baron. But let's take a look at the fight that starts it all. It's all TN just continuing to slow Findo, trying to slow chase him. And as a result, Hooper puts himself into this horrible position where Benby's able to jump on top of him, get collapsed by Lemus as well. And then the rest of the members of Fury are just forced to run, really. Not much you can do. Tomasino tries to find an engage after the flash is used by Lemus, but simply just too fast is that Twisted Fate, able to run out of any potential threat. And they run down Chirp as well, and really, it's the death on towards Belveth at the end that is so crucial in securing this soul. Also going to be able to cede control of this top side over towards Ground Zero as well, simply because of that tempo. So now it's becoming such a hard prospect to walk into this team, this Alistar, this Jace, this TF, who are all threats in their own right. And Twisted Fate, Lima's saying he doesn't want to get one shot anymore. He's picked up a Jack Show.
He certainly has picked up the Jack Show, whether or not he goes for the Terminus afterwards and then does the most damage whilst having 200 resistance available at the same time too. With an Ocean Soul coupled on top of that, I mean, they have so many ways to try and be a nuisance if they set up and plant themselves for the siege defense that Fury will be hoping to try and achieve. But right now, the current threat is there is a Baron on the cards, and it's a face check from Nox. Why is it him face checking? It cannot be this way! He's your most fed member. He does so much damage, but he's so squishy at the same time. And Tomasino caught in no man's land, surrounded by 5. And Ground Zero say, you're not familiar with this situation. You've got a gold lead, but you don't know how to close it out. And we'll take the lead back again.
Yeah, they have no idea what to do, Fury. They send someone in expecting a Baron threat on the cards, but it just is a bait. They just end up sending Belveth in to die, and Tomasino, as a result, is caught on mid-wave. It's reeks of desperation here. They're not even going to be able to get in to even look at this Baron. And like you said, Fury were in control for so much of the game, but Ground Zero, they've found their way back in, and they're not looking to let up.
They certainly aren't looking to let up. Let's run it back with the replay once again, because it's Nox thinking, okay, it's just an Alistar on its own. It's safe passage. But as we know, it certainly wasn't the case.
Yeah, someone has to walk in, right? I think that's the communication here from Fury. They need to get eyes on that Baron. And unfortunately, it is Nox who they sacrifice. Keep in mind, Nox is definitely not squishy by any means. He is a very tanky Belveth, but there's just so much damage on the side of Ground Zero that they simply don't care about that. And now, all this poke becomes all the more real when you have the minion waves to back it up, and they are pushing into this quadrant. Nox might have found a flank, though.
Yeah, found a flank right now. He's going to try and jump straight towards Lemus. The knockup goes through. He hits the real Maelstrom, but he's not got lethal. Schoenfire goes golden, and Nox is dead again! Their star man has fallen down once again. Chips found the kill that he's after with the ultimate, really unleashing its true power. And Tomasino forced to flash to the safety of that bot lane. These fights, they're all coming together. It's a cinematic masterpiece.
Really is a cinematic masterpiece there. Looked really good for the side of Fury with the positioning that Nox had. But it simply is just a damage gap, right? He's able to get onto the backline, but doesn't actually have anyone to support him there. Tomasino not wanting to pop the ultimate, not wanting to get on towards that backline with his jungler, means he will just fall isolated by himself. And as a result, you do have a numbers advantage for Ground Zero as they look towards this bot lane turret. These two supers will make work of it.
My vigil going on out.
Chunked so low.
It's just not enough though, is it, Max? It's just not enough. The base defense, it cannot persevere. Tomasino stands up for 1 second, receives a little bit of damage and is falls right back towards that fountain. 4 members here. Benby returning from the base, and they need him for this engage. This is a fantastic opportunity now for Fury to try and fight in a 5v4. Tien is so tanky, but Schoenfire is certainly not. Zonya is burnt. in that previous fight. Flash forward from Findo.
Oh, the W.
And they found their kill. Tien is dead. Kisei soon to follow. And Fury, they get a whiff, they get a chance. And they go absolutely crazy with it. They're still looking for more in the mid lane, but Chirp, you've got to show some respect here. Fantastic stun. And I think he's just buffered enough.
Yeah, he wanted to TP on that mid wave to make sure that they still had a wave to push with to potentially try to end the game. But unfortunately, Lemus had the Destiny Gate available to get towards that and prevent that from taking place. So it's a nice fight, but won't transition to the end of the game.
Oh, Max, give me some conclusions, some outcome to this game. So it all starts off here, and it just doesn't let up.
Yeah, it absolutely doesn't. You can see Nox with the initial wraparound really nice on towards Lemus, but because of the space Benby is buying, as well as Schönfire with all that AoE damage coming through, it's incredibly hard for the Fury carries to actually walk through that pit. That means that by the time Tomasino is ready to go on this Aatrox here, he's got no one to back him up and is forced to flash out himself. That's the initial fight, but the one towards bot lane going much more in the favor as Fury is... Excuse me, they picked up the Elder.
They've picked up the Elder. Well, there you have it. They really want to say we're strong and we're sick of you looking to try and outmaneuver us with your mechanics, with your experience, with your comprehension of the situation that we find ourselves in right now. What was a 23-minute stomp in game one? Well, we've expired that. 10 minutes past. And it's, well, dead even in gold, dead even in kills, and dead even in us not knowing what the hell is going on.
Yeah, Elder is so big here now. You can see, because of the pure damage, even something like a Syndra QE plus a W is likely to kill almost everyone on the side of Ground Zero now. So it's going to be a bit of time where Ground Zero have to kind of cede control here. They have to acknowledge that they can't take an outright 5v5 unless they can guarantee that this Syndra or a Thalios is dead. But these carries, once again, are looking so strong now. Items coming online for all of them. 4 completed for both of these carries. It's very strong. Chirp might be looking for Schönfire here. He flashes forward.
He's flashing forward, going golden is Schönfire, but the real target was Lemus all along. Out goes the Moonlight Vigil. It's not enough. Schönfire, oh, he ticks down at the very end. Are you kidding me? And this was looking like Fury are set up, posturing to end the game right here and now. With Elder, with damage, with Void Mites as well. They have the pressure to get it done here. Grand Zero got to play the best team fight of their life.
They've got to protect the wave here, Skimmy. That's the important thing. It's going down, but the hook's onto Tien.
Tien is the focus. He's so incredibly tanky, but even he can't bear the pressure that this Elder has to offer. He gets to limp away. And Kisei continues to pepper them from afar with these shock blasts, but that is exactly right there, Max. They've got to run. They've missed their opportunity.
TP!
TPing in. Who's it going to be? It's looking like it's going to be Tien coming in for this one, but actually he postures into the mid lane. They want to keep them locked in mid. Kisei's going for the end right now. It's the case of who can get back for Fury. Nox and Findo locked in place. Chirp down to 30%. And Hooper, the only one that's actually able to make the entire run back to base. He goes. No recall here today. Only one Nexus tower taken. Max, I'm sweating bullets here. This game is just too hard to predict. And Fury have gone from one side of the map to the other.
It's pandemonium all over the Rift there. You could see it started off with Fury looking to try to end there, but they didn't have the wave. Crucially, it got cut by some really nice J Shock Blast, and then off the back end, this massive wave that Ground Zero want to capitalize on leads to a big kind of confusing play around this mid lane. You can see TP and Ultimate committed in here to this mid lane. They want to stop bases. That's the key thing here. You can see Kisei just melts through turrets. So Findo will be kind of the sacrificial body that prevents and allows the rest of his team to get back on defense. But meanwhile, as we're coming out of this, the death timers, they mean that it's going to be a Baron for Ground Zero.
It's going to be a Baron for Ground Zero to pick on up as they look to run away with this one. All 5 members will have that one active. And it begs the question, with this all-important buff available for them, what can they look to get accomplished with it? Because Fury, out of position, weren't able to try and contest it. And Grand Zero have been able to sneak that from right underneath them. And I tell you what, they're going to be praying for that bot lane inhibitor to come back anytime soon.
Yeah, they will absolutely need it. I mean, a Baron buff, in addition to all the poke that can come out from this Ground Zero roster, really does place pressure on you to deal with this wave clear. Cooper still has the Infernum in his hand. Actually, he just cycled off of it, so going to be missing the wave clear that provides quite dearly. And Chirp as well on this Syndra. Going to be making sure he's kind of shepherded around to kill these minions, because a single second left alone with the Jace in a side lane is going to be catastrophic for your objectives. You need to make sure you are very cohesive with your push. As here goes Lemus. He's the safe one to send to the side. Always going to have that ultimate available. As Fury tried to catch a member on mid lane, but won't make it happen.
Not going to happen for the meantime. It is going to be that 1-4 split as you describe, and worth noting that Lemus does have that Terminus now completed, so going to be the tankiest AD carry you'll ever see. So many resistance available, and it's going to be so impactful given that these next few fights, or even this potential fight right here, may just spoil the end. 30 kills apiece nearly. This will be a new record for the split. It certainly has delivered for what will be the longest and the most chaotic. Fury now had to figure out, okay, we're getting pinched from every side. We're grateful that that bot lane inhibitor has respawned. But we have to defend this Baron Siege.
They're doing a good job of it so far. There's just about a minute left on that buff, as the Elder is really the next thing that comes into the minds of both teams here. You can see that because of the Baron control they have, Ground Zero should have an easier time setting up towards this bot quadrant of the map. And we know, we've seen from all these fights previously, that setup can be so important in securing a team the win. As Lemus, look at his damage onto Tomasino there.
Stuck as a 5-man squad of Fury, unwilling to rotate or send members to side lanes. They have no TP luxury available for them, but they don't want to get cheesed in a split push affair. That is the luxury that Ground Zero have available to them. They sent Kiss 8 to the bot lane to push that one out, to passively try and acquire that retake of the inhibitor. And the Elder has just about respawned. And Ground Zero are wrestling for mid lane control. If they can see too much of this, there's nothing stopping Fury from running straight down the mid lane and end this game. Lemus baits him in the mid lane, acting as a lonely sheep ready to pounce upon, but will not die. Knocks the next one on the chopping block. Double kill here for Schoenfire. Lemus destining in from the behind onto Hooper's heavily stands and delivers. Blue and red, he does so much damage. The Moonlight Visual misses, but it does not matter because the rest of his team has fallen around him.
It feels only fitting that a game this chaotic ends in a way that is no less crazy than the rest of it. You can see the initial engage onto Lemus, but he flashes it so well. Reacts perfectly as Kisei might have found Hooper here.
He's looking for it. Kisei limping away, but it's the luxury of a Guardian Angel to save the day. Ace in the end, a very delayed one at that. And my God, we can finally take a breather. The shenanigans are over. The Twitch chat can calm down, and we can get ahead to the next series. This game has certainly delivered a 40-minute bloodbath, and what a fitting way for Ground Zero to secure their ticket into playoffs.
It's a bloody game. Ground Zero, they are tested, but ultimately they stand true. They stand tall in the face of Fury and secure the 2-0 W.
What the hell was that is the real message from this game. We've had a pause, we've had a DC, a chrono break, and ultimately a chance for Fury to show